Hey guys, my name's Emily and welcome to another booktube video. So I'm doing a review over two books. They are both in the same series. They are both in the Last Survivor series, and the books I read are Life as We Knew It and The Dead and the Gone by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. I'm not exactly positive how to say it. I don't know how to say that last name. Sorry. Read these two books. And I'm going to start with a non-spoiler review, and I'm just going to start it out. These books are really good books, and I highly, highly recommend them. The story is there is a comet, and it hits the moon out of its orbit, and the moon controls multiple things in the world. The moon controls our tides. It controls just so many things, and the book really shows you exactly how much the moon actually controls, because the moon was knocked out of orbit, no one was expecting it. It sends everything out of whack. It's just not good. It makes the living situations very harsh, and the books are about two survivors that go through all of this, and it's really good. Starting out with Life as We Knew It, again, non-spoilers. Life as We Knew It follows the character of Miranda Evans, and she is in her hometown of Howell, Pennsylvania, and it's the story of how her and her family are surviving in their hometown, which is a rural part of Pennsylvania, and just how they survive this whole thing. And then The Dead and the Gone, it's in the exact same timeline as Life as We Knew It is happening. So what's happening in Life as We Knew It is consecutively happening in The Dead and the Gone, just in two different places with two different characters. This book follows the character Alex Morales. He is from New York, and it's his struggle of trying to take care of his family after everything hits. So it's comparing how one survives in a rural area compared to one surviving in a very populated area. And basically the books are really, really good. I love them a lot because it's just a very interesting, I think, topic, and just the way it's presented is very detailed, very good, and I really love these two books. And so that is my quick non-spoiler review. Basically, go and get the books because they're really good. Though going on to spoilers, I'm going to be in a way talking about comparing the books. I know they're not the same and you shouldn't compare books, but because it's in the same story and the same narrative, I will be kind of commenting on both of them and what's compared to the other. So starting with the main characters, we're going to start with Life as We Knew It, it's the first book. The character Miranda Evans I enjoyed because I can connect to her in a way, I guess. And I like Life as We Knew It because if I would most likely be in Miranda's situation as opposed to Alex's situation. So that's why for Life as We Knew It, I felt I could connect to it more and understand it more. But I do love the story of Dead and the Gone. Her whole family situation, I thought her connection with her brothers, I thought was well documented in it. And I like how the book is written in a journal form, and I feel like that's a good way to document because you can get what's going on in people's minds better, especially the main character Miranda. And the thing about it, it's it dates what day it is and what's happening, and that's very good for trying to understand how long it's been since the moon went out of orbit. And also, with it being documented, you don't have to go day for day, and I think that's very helpful in the way these books are told. I like how at the end you do in a way at the very end of both books get a happy ending for the time being, and I think it's good. More of a happy ending in this book as opposed to this book. Let's talk about The Dead and the Gone for a second. I think I connect more with Miranda in Life as We Knew It, but I feel personally I love The Dead and the Gone, the story, better. Because, let me read you the thing on the front, what other people are saying about the book. Riveting. This is a dark and scary novel that was said by John Green, the author of Fall on Our Stars and Paper Towns. That's another thing about these books. These books, can be very dark in the fact that it is a world-ending thing. And, you're obviously, if the world ending, you're going to have some dark narratives. But in The Dead and the Gone, why I think I like it a bit better than Life as We Knew It, because Life as We Knew It, like I said, rural area, you're only going to kind of understand what's happening to the world in this rural area. The Dead and the Gone happens in New York, and that's a very well-populated place. It's a place, and he lives in a city. He lives in, I think, Manhattan. He lives in Brooklyn. Like, he lives around the populated areas. And, you know, when you live in a place like that, you're definitely going to see a change in everything when something world devastating happens, and that definitely happens in this book. This book, there is a ton of death, there is a ton of panic, there is a lot of just, especially because New York is closer to the oceans than Pennsylvania is, and you definitely see the amount of carnage that happens in The Dead and the Gone. Just the amount of death in the book is a lot, because I talk about how in Life as We Knew It, the major deaths that, like, I can remember off the top of my head were, like I said, Miss Nesbit, Megan's mother, and also the Miranda's mother's boyfriend also died. In The Dead and the Gone, a ton of people die. We don't know for a fact that Alex Morales' parents are dead, but it is heavily implied that they are both dead, and I believe that they are both dead. At least his father is dead. His father was in Puerto Rico. His dad, I'm pretty sure, is dead. His mother, I'm pretty sure, is also dead. Also, Alex's older brother, Carlos, I don't think he's dead because he was working with the Marines and, you know, he was in the Army. So it's like a definitely... And then he was going to Texas, and Texas, I would say, is probably a safer place in America. The major deaths that we, like, see on... Like, you see a lot of death in New York because there are a lot of dead bodies in the streets. Like... And I feel, that's one of the big things that they don't show in Pennsylvania, Howell, is because it's not a big place. There isn't going to be a ton of dead bodies around, but in New York, there's a lot of dead bodies. People have to resort to body looting to help buy things. And then there's the death of Kevin, which I thought was sad, because Kevin was someone who he was a friend, but at the same time not a friend. He was helping Alex and his family survive. And the way he died was, I felt, out of nowhere. He died with a tree branch snapping, like it's falling on the back of his neck. A couple of other deaths, like the major death that I'm talking about is at the very end of the book. The death of Alex's sister, Bree, was honestly devastating to me. Like, I didn't like Bree, the character, that much because of the religion thing, which I'll talk about in a second. But just the way she died got to me. The elevator, that troubled me a lot. I'm like, I don't want to go in elevators anymore because that's just a thing, because they live in an apartment and power is constantly going on and then only staying on for a little bit and then going off. And then Alex's sister his sister takes an elevator and the power goes off, and then she gets trapped in an elevator for, like, I think it was a couple of days, maybe a week, and she dies in the elevator. I feel like that's one of the worst ways to die in this universe. So the death, I felt like, is like an important thing in the books, and you definitely see a lot more death in The Dead and the Gone. I like The Dead and the Gone just because how much more brutal it is. It is very, very brutal, and I think that's entertaining. Another thing that was important in the books was religion. Religion is something that's touched upon, and you have to think it would be important in this universe because of the fact that, you know, people would be questioning, like, why would God do this to us? Why would God basically try and end our world like this? And religion is handled through different characters. In Life as We Knew It, the character Miranda isn't a very religious person, and she doesn't really think of it as, why God are you doing this to us, and stuff like that. But her friend Megan is religious, and her friend Megan is a bit, as in my opinion, over religious, and she does things that, you know, I don't think I would be morally okay with. Megan, like, thinks, you know, it's God's mission for her to, like, help, like, provide for others and not to worry about herself as much. So Megan just doesn't eat for multiple meals, and so she's basically like a skeleton when she dies. Like, she just, like, people in both books don't eat, but that's because they're running out of food. Megan openly chose not to eat anything, and, you know, she had like she had so much faith in the minister of her place, and, like, it's just like Megan saw more religion as more the big thing in life than opposed to her own life in the end. Another thing with religion, Alex Morales is a religious character. He goes to a religious school. His sisters go to a religious school. Their family is very religious. They pray to God. They pray for their family's safe return. And then I definitely like that when it's told in the main character's point of view as religious, and see how he keeps his faith. The fact that he does, but he doesn't. You would definitely like think in a world like this, some people would lose their faith. They would be like, God wouldn't want this to happen to us. And then that's what Alex questions. You know, he has no parents anymore. He has to take care of his 2 little sisters. And so he's like asking God, why God would you do this to me? Why would you take away my parents, take away the world, and then leave me alone to try and raise these 2 people? And, you know, he questions his religion at some points. And his 2 sisters are also good examples of religion. Julie, his youngest sister, kind of didn't denounce her religion. She still kept up with her faith and stuff like that, but she was more realistic in the fact that, you know, God, like, she wasn't like Bree. Bree was like, God has a plan for us. We have to keep praying to God. That's all gonna be good. God will keep us strong. Julie was like, no, we can't rely on God for everything. We have to take care of ourselves. Whereas Bree's just like, we can pray it away. Bree was a character that was very complicated for me, and I liked her, that she was strong with her religion, that she kept with her faith, but at the same time, I wanted to smack her sometimes to get to the point with reality. The last big thing I wanted to talk about, why I like these books so much, is in books or in things, you know, there's normally an antagonist to the story, and normally it is a person. What I love so much, I think, about these books is that the antagonist is something you can't fight. The antagonist is nature. The antagonist is the moon. The moon causes all these problems in nature, and nature causes all these problems for the main characters and every character in this universe. And I think that's really interesting to think about. Your enemy is nature, and you can't stop nature from happening. Nature will take its course. Nature will do what it wants. And you can't really change that. And I think that's really interesting to think about, the fact that they are facing an enemy that they can't stop. It's just something that has to happen. And especially the main characters, they aren't scientists. They don't know how to handle the moon all the way on Earth. You know, I think that's very interesting to think about, that the enemy is someone that you can't beat. It's something that just you kind of have to adapt to. And I think that's very interesting to think about. All in all, these books are really good. I connected more with the character Miranda, I think, on a personal level, but I think I like the book The Dead and the Gone more just for the fact of its dark tones and just how dark it gets in this book. Both books are really good, and I really like, you know, the first couple pages of any book, I feel like sometimes you just kind of have to trudge through it a little bit. These I kind of did a little bit, but then once I got into it, I wanted to keep reading to see, you know, what will happen to these characters. Will they die or will they survive? That's why these books are called The Last Survivors. These are some of the last survivors of the world. And I think that's so interesting. These books are very interesting, and I highly, highly recommend them. So those are the first 2 books of a book series that has 4 books in them. I have the 3rd book here, This World We Live In is what it's called. This World We Live In. And I know I read like what's supposed to happen in it, and basically the characters from Life as We Knew It, Miranda, and The Dead and the Gone, Alex, they meet up in this book. And that's why I'm very excited to see, is just, you know, them meeting, because I think that's interesting to see 2 characters that have both been through some very hard times meeting together and are facing more difficult times ahead. It's not a very long book, which is interesting. And also, I'm just interested to see how it's going to work out. I'll be reading this one very soon. I'm in the middle of another book right now, and I might read another one right before this book. But I definitely will be reading this book in the month of August, and I will definitely do a review for it, because I really like these series a lot. So far, this is a new series that I've been into that I really like. So subscribe to the Bookmarks to get new book reviews, new book videos. You can subscribe to my personal channel, Emily Entertainment, link below, and you can catch my videos every Tuesday here on this channel, and then you can also see Maria's videos every Thursday where she talks about the books that she's read. And yeah, You can subscribe to her personal channel, Maria Blue, and you can subscribe to our other collab channel that we're a part of, A True Fam, where we're with 6 other people making different videos. Love these books, highly recommend, and that's it. Leave a comment if you like this video. If you read the books, leave a comment what you think, and we can have a big discussion. Like the video, and most importantly, subscribe. Bye.